UFC 309 full card breakdown. Here we go. First up, we got the real fight of the night: Veronica Hardy versus Eduardo Mora. I'm pretty sure. Let me wait. I can't mess up this early. All right, let's just pretend it is Eduardo Mora. I'm gonna go with an underdog already. I'm going with Eduardo Mora by decision. She's a better finisher. I know this is a weird pick, right? This is a good way to start off the card with a terrible pick. Veronica Hardy's doing good recently, but I think when she's fighting a girl that's going to be decently, it's going to be bigger than her, she's not going to be able to stuff the takedowns most likely, and I think Eduardo Mora is just going to be able to lay on her. And again, like I do with all these women's MMA fights, if you're able to get a takedown, I think you're going to win. Because there's not going to be much damage done on the feet. And Eduardo Mora is not good on the feet whatsoever. But Veronica Hardy's no superstar herself. One issue I have is that the only time Eduardo Mora has really fought good competition, she lost. And I wouldn't even say it was good competition. Her most recent fight was actually against Denise Gomez. Split decision loss, and we just saw Denise Gomez fight against Kowalkiewicz last weekend, and didn't put her out or anything like that. So it kind of gives you a good idea of what level she's at. I think Eduardo Mora is gonna show up looking a little bit better than she did her last fight, and I don't think she's gonna go out there and get a finish, but I think she'll be able to put that pressure on Hardy in the grappling exchanges and tire Hardy out and just lay on her the whole fight. So Eduardo Mora by decision. Weird pick, but hey. Next up on this card, we got Basil Hafez versus Oban Elliott. Oban Elliott, coming up from Cage Warriors, I like him. I think he's a good fighter coming out of Wales. Young guy, 26 years old. When it comes to the welterweight division, he hasn't fought the best opponents yet. He fought Val Woodburn and Preston Parsons are his two fights in the UFC. Ugh. But we got Fez, who, not recently, but he beat Mickey Gall, and before that had a split decision loss to JDM. Basil Hafez. I'm sorry, but I think that JDM a year ago was not the same JDM we see now. And I'm sorry, but I'm not a big JDM fan regardless. I think he's pretty good regardless, but I'm going to go with Oban Elliott. I just think he's cleaner overall and is good at just... I don't know. Wait, I need to start thinking about these before I make this video. I'm going to go with the Oban Elliott. I just think better overall fighter than Basil Hafez. Of course, Basil Hafez is going to have a chance on the feet, but I think when it comes down to it, Oban Elliott's fought better competition for a longer time, and he's younger, and I think he proved a decent amount since his last fight. I think he's going to keep his momentum going, young kid. I think he's only going to get better. And yeah, I'm going with Oban Elliott by decision. Next up, we got Mickey Gall versus Ramiz Bahamaj. Before I even make any predictions, why is this on this card right now? Like, what am I doing? I should not. I don't even want to make a pick on this one, to be honest. I just feel kind of disrespected that I need to pick on a card. UFC 309, John Jones is probably going to retire. We got Charles Oliveira. We got some good fights on here. And then Mickey Gall. Shout out to Mickey Gall, but what the fuck? What are we doing? Mickey Gall is on a 3-fight skid. He hasn't won a fight since 2021. He most recently lost to Basil Hafez, which for some reason he's under him on the card. Mickey Gall, you're not good. I apologize. At one point, he was decent, but I'm still going to have to pick him. I really am. This is just going to be a fight on the ground. And I think Mickey Gall is just going to be a little bit better. He's... God, why do I have to pick? Just flip a coin at this point. Just flip a coin. I think Mickey Gall's just better overall on the feet. on the feet, off the feet, on the ground. I think Mickey Gall is just better on the ground. He's less of a martial artist than He's just not as good of a martial artist, but he's better at jiu-jitsu. I think it's just going to be a grappling match in my head, and I see Mickey Gall actually winning this one. Okay, who's going to suck worse? Who's going to suck worse? Mickey Gall, you're going to win. I think Mickey Gall has better grappling. I'm sorry. We've seen his previous fights from years and years and years ago, and hopefully he shows up in that form. I don't even think he has to, though, because we got an opponent that I think is actually kind of shit on the ground. I don't know how he's getting these submissions, but I don't think he's anywhere near the level of the god Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall by decision via shitty grappling. Let's go. All right, we got Denise versus Marchant. I don't know. This one's another rough one. This should be higher up on the card, in all honesty. I think this is actually going to be a really good fight. A big step up in competition for Denise. Marchant is going to be more of a mixed martial artist, I'd say, than what Denise is used to fighting. I think Denise is athletic. I think he actually has some skill. I think he's quick. I think he hits like a fucking truck. And I think Tybura is not slick enough to get out of the way of these big shots from Denise. It all depends if Tybura gets a takedown. You know, that's just going to be a big thing in this fight. We're going to have to see how good Denise is at, stuffing takedowns at this high of a level. Not too high. It's heavyweight, but I think he's going to be able to do well regardless. And I think he might even be able to catch Marchant Tybura maybe when he rushes in or vice versa. I just think he's heavy-handed, he's quick, and I think he's athletic enough to be able to survive this fight. I mean, it's heavyweight again. So when I'm thinking of who's going to win, I'm just thinking of who's more of an athlete. And neither one are really... No, they're both athletes, but let's be honest, I think Denise is a little quicker, and I think, his kickboxing experience is going to really show through in this fight. I think strikes are quicker. I think he's going to have a faster reaction time. And he's probably going to clip Marchant Tybura if Tybura doesn't just sit on him the whole 3 rounds and gas him out. I think it'll be no issue for Denise. I think this is a difficult fight regardless, but I think he will be able to clip Marchant Tybura, and I believe he will get a knockout this fight. Second round knockout, Marchant... No. Second round knockout, Denise. All right, guys, now I feel kind of stupid. I felt like I already recorded this part of the video, but I guess not. We got Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson. I'm going to go with Damon Jackson by decision. Jim Miller's coming off that brutal beatdown from Bobby Green, which was pretty bad, but I don't really think that's going to mean anything in this fight. Damon Jackson's not going to be on the feet piecing up Jim Miller. We all know that. I think Damon Jackson is just going to be able to get the takedown, and he's good enough at keeping control time. I know that's not a big factor, but I don't think Jim Miller will have enough time to get any good offense off on the feet. I think he won't be able to land any big shots because he's going to be gassed, around round 3 when Damon Jackson, after all those takedowns, I don't think Jim Miller is going to be able to get back on the feet and throw anything. But Damon Jackson is a little bit chinny. Not chinny, but he can get slept. We all know that. So, yeah, I'm going with Damon Jackson by decision. I just think the ground game is what's going to, change this fight right here. Damon Jackson's a little bit old, but Jim Miller is an older guy. I just think a little bit of that is going to... I think the age might play a little bit of a factor in this fight. I think Jim Miller's still pretty decent. I like him. I would rather him win, but I just don't see in which way he can besides, chinning Damon Jackson. But I just think Damon Jackson, again, control, and he's going to win this one by decision. Let's take a moment and appreciate how great this card is. We got Chris Weidman versus Eryk Anders. Oh, this is just phenomenal card so far, guys, right? Going Chris Weidman by decision. Guys, good thing I waited to record this video. I now have a concrete reason as to why he will win. I don't know why I just said reason, but let's ignore that. Chris Weidman will win this one by decision. He will just wrestle fuck Eryk Anders. Eryk Anders is not good. Weidman cheated his last fight. He probably would have won regardless, but he cheated his last fight. But wait, they have the new gloves. That should reduce the eye pokes. They're going back to the old gloves for 309. They're going back to the old gloves. Chris Weidman will eye poke Eryk Anders and win this via eye poke decision. He will. That's why I waited. I knew they would change the gloves up. They changed the gloves up to help Chris Weidman win, as well as John Jones, but we'll get to that one later. Chris Weidman will win by decision. I don't think Eryk Anders is any good at all. I don't think he's good at all. And I think Chris Weidman's last fight, he actually looked pretty good. Besides those eye pokes, the mini eye pokes and the eye poke TKO against an opponent who, looking back, isn't really too good. But I think Chris Weidman looked pretty decent on the feet, and I think he's going to be able to wrestle fuck Eryk Anders. Only issue is Anders has power, and Weidman could go to sleep. But my wrestling bias that I don't have, that's fake, I'm believing in wrestlers this card. I think there's going to be plenty of fucking takedowns and holding downs and hopefully a little bit of offense. That'd be nice. But yeah, I don't see Eryk Anders doing anything at all. The idea of Eryk Anders winning a fight to me just doesn't really make any sense. Yeah, that just doesn't seem real. But yeah, Chris Weidman by decision because the eye pokes with the new gloves. I'm not gonna lie, this is finally a fight I'm pretty excited for. I'd say this is Jonathan Martinez versus Marcus McGee. Jonathan Martinez. He had that fight against Aldo. He was getting pieced up and he did lose. But I don't like the disrespect to Jose Aldo for some reason these people have. You can't just go, oh well, he lost to Aldo. Like Aldo isn't Jose Aldo. I mean, I don't even want to fucking start ranting about stupid shit like that, but I say that and then I'm picking Marcus McGee. I'm sorry. Forget that. Jose Aldo, whoever that guy is. I'm going with Marcus McGee by knockout. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep the train going. Marcus McGee's been doing decent his last couple fights. It felt like he hasn't really fought in a while. I'm not sure when the last time he fought was, and I'm not going to look it up either because I'm done doing my research for this. Marcus McGee by second round knockout. Third round knockout. I think he's a good striker. He's good on the feet. I think Jonathan Martinez is probably a better fighter, but I think Marcus McGee being able to crash in and throw the big heavy shots, he will be able to catch Jonathan Martinez. I believe so. Again, I think Jonathan Martinez is probably a better overall fighter. I really think he is. But Marcus McGee, I think, has a higher chance of finishing this fight and a higher chance of landing bigger punches, more damaging blows, I think. So I think he's going to be able to do some damage on Jonathan Martinez, whether it's up against the clinch, which I doubt it, or just rushing in, throwing big shots, or just landing like a big right hand a couple times around or maybe once around and it cuts Jonathan Martinez open. I think that could sway the judges, and I think it should because, it's damage. I just think that's what's going to happen. I think Marcus McGee going to land some big shots, either put Jonathan Martinez out or do enough visible damage that the judges are going to give him it. But, yeah, I love Jose Aldo. I apologize for disrespecting you like that. We got Rufy versus James on top. I forgot how to say this guy's name. Guys, Marcio Rufy. Guys, this is a Fighting Nerds fight. In case you guys are unaware, we're getting back-to-back weeks of perfection. This is the real main event right here. I could do a 20-minute section right now just glazing Rufy, but Marcio Rufy, whatever. But I'm not going to do it. I actually kind of have, maybe some might call it a hot take, but I don't know if it really is. James has a chin, a granite chin. I don't think Rufy's going to be able to put him out cold. I don't think so. I hope he does, but I don't, I can't even give a prediction right now. Marcio Rufy's going to win this fight. There's my prediction. You can skip to the next part if you don't want to hear me just glazing him for the next 20 minutes. But I think Rufy is going to land some big shots, but I don't think he's going to have a one-punch knockout. I really don't. I don't think he's going to have a head kick knockout. I hope he does. But I just think the chin on James, he's going to be a human punching bag in there, especially with how dynamic Rufy is. He's going to be throwing shots from any other angle, any angle he wants. And I just think this is going to be just like a highlight reel fight, not a highlight reel finish. If he does finish, I think it's going to be a nice finish. but I could see more of like a TKO, maybe him just like giving up against the cage while he's just getting beat on, or a doctor stoppage. But I just see Rufi just pulling out every trick he knows and just styling on him the whole fight. That's what I see happening. So it's hard for me to say that it's going to be a knockout. I genuinely think it might go to a decision, and it's just going to be Rufi putting on just a masterclass across 3 rounds. Excited to see this fight. Excited to see how this goes. Hope he gets a finish. But I just have a gut feeling that James's chin is fucking. He has a good chin. We haven't seen him against someone like Rufi yet, but I just don't think a lot of people are looking into this one enough. They're like, oh, he has, it's Rufi. He's going to, knock him out, obviously, because he does that every other time. But I'm like, his opponent's a little bit different than normal. This is no bum. I mean, no offense. He's not too good, but I think he's fucking durable as shit. But we'll see this fight. Let's see if he gets cracked. He will get cracked, but let's see if he gets put out. Rufi by decision or third round knockout, second or third round doctor stoppage / TKO, but I'm going with decision. That's my official pick. Next fight, we got Vivan or Araujo versus Corinne Silva. We're gonna act like I can't say her name. I can't say Araujo. I can't say it. All right, Corinne Silva. I'm going with Corinne Silva, but wait. I would have gone with Vivian, but if this was like 2 years ago, she had that fight against Alexa Grasso, which I thought was actually it was a fight, 5-round fight at that. She didn't look completely terrible, but again, October 2022. This is going to be in November 2024. She lost to Natalia Silva. Not that bad of a loss. She lost to Amanda Ribas. Again, we got Corinne Silva. This is just going to be a decent step up in competition for her. She beat Lipsky. She beat Ketlin Souza. She beat a lot of fighters, And her last fight, she won a decision, and a lot of people are talking about how she's so good on the ground. She's a good finisher. She's, gets a lot of good submissions. I picked her to win via submission that last fight she had. But we got to realize when these girls start stepping up in competition after they have all these finishes and they step up a little bit in competition and you see that finishing rate, it will start to plummet. While I think she has good jiu-jitsu, I think any opponent with decent enough jiu-jitsu will be able to negate that and kind of just stall her out. I do think she's going to be able to control on the ground, and I do think she's going to have a couple submission attempts, but I don't think she's going to be able to get this one done via submission. I think this will be another decision. I just realized I picked like 5 fights in a row to go to a decision, but whoops. Well, no, not the Merck's McGee, which probably will go to a decision. Anyways, yeah, you already know who I'm going to go with, but I'm not going by submission. I'm going by decision. I just don't think when you step up in competition like that, Silva's going to be able to get a submission off. I just think she's going to do more on the ground. She's obviously going to be able to get a takedown, hopefully. And on the feet, whatever. No one can fight on the feet in this division. And not to mention, she's fighting a 37-year-old. I feel like we have to add that in sometimes. But again, these 37-year-old, 38-year-old fighters in this women's division somehow don't get finished. But they make it to a decision. So again, I'm going with Corinne Silva by decision. Would be cool to see her get a submission. Don't think it's going to happen just because of the increase in competition. But let's go Corinne Silva by decision. We got Bo Nickal versus Paul Craig. Guys, I'm going with Paul Craig by submission. I'm joking. Bo Nickal's going to chin him in the first round. Bo Nickal loves to, catch his opponents off guard by looking like he's going to shoot a takedown, just throwing a big overhand. I think he's going to do that and sleep Paul Craig. Paul Craig, I'm sorry, but you get hit way too often and you can't take a punch. Really. Like, you can't take a punch. His last fight against Kyle, I mean, that was a brutal fucking knockout. And it was May 4th this year. It was a brutal knockout. I'm sorry. But again, we got Paul Craig. Somebody who's known to just randomly win. We got a lot of fighters like that in the UFC who could just randomly pull this off. And there goes Bo Nickal. I think this is actually a decent fight. I think it'll be cool. A good name for Bo Nickal to beat. So yeah, I think he's not going to really use too much wrestling this fight. And I think he's probably been working on his hands while he hasn't fought in like 8 months. It's probably been God, I don't even remember the last time Bo Nickal fought, but it's been a decent amount of time. I watched a couple interviews. He's saying he's taking his time off to improve his fighting because he's only 28 and he only has 6 fights, and he doesn't want to go up and go up very steep in competition because he doesn't want to get fraud checked too early. Basically, he had that Cody Brundage fight. It was April 13th, 2024. I thought it was way before that. But yeah, I just see it kind of similar. It's kind of like the Val Woodburn fight. I believe this one's gonna go just like Paul Craig's just gonna get fucking hit and just go to sleep. Yeah, Paul Craig, I'm sorry, but you're a little too chinny for me. But it would be funny if I pick Paul Craig by knockout. Paul. Whoa, sorry. Those words should never come out of my mouth. I mean Paul Craig by submission, but don't think it's gonna happen. Bo Nickal's gonna be pretty defensive on the ground if it even makes it that far. But I just think it's gonna be a stand-up fight in the first round, and Bo Nickal's gonna sleep him. I think that's what he's been working on is his hands, and I think they'll look better than Paul Craig because we know Paul Craig can't punch, and he will throw a kick, and he will throw the kick. He'll throw the kick, and I don't even see, actually I might see Paul Craig throwing that body kick, or what side is it? Whatever side it is, and Bo Nickal catching it and just dropping him, and just fucking throwing a big hook and just dropping Paul Craig. Yeah, I see Paul Craig getting chinned. In case you guys haven't gotten that by now, I think Paul Craig's going to get chinned in the first round. All right, next fight. Okay, wait. I know everybody's been trashing this card and saying how it's kind of ass. This feels kind of quick. We're already at Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. I'm doing all this off top right now. I should be pulling some stuff up. I'm going with, guys, I need to draw more. I'm going with Charles Oliveira. Let's be honest. I think the line's a little iffy on this. I don't think Chandler should be that big of an underdog. I think Chandler could pull it off, but I don't even want to put those words out there. Chandler hasn't fought in a while. Chandler hasn't fought in years, some may say. And I'm the person that's going to say it. He's only getting older, and somehow he looks better than he ever has before. Don't know how, but I don't think that matters when you are Michael Chandler. Unless he was studying mixed martial arts and taking like a multiple choice test on what to do in certain situations. I don't think his head can be fixed. He makes stupid decisions in the fight, and I think he will do it again. I wouldn't be surprised if he shoots for a takedown on Charles Oliveira and gets guillotined in the first round. I don't know how I think Charles is going to win this. I kind of think the world's his oyster, whatever that's. All right, guys. I really should edit that part out, but I'm not going to. I think he could just do whatever he wants with Michael Chandler. Chandler might Chandler might just catch Charles, and Charles just like falls back like he always does when he gets caught, and just like jump on him and get subbed somehow. Like Chandler's the type of guy to drop somebody and then get subbed right after. What is there to break down? Michael Chandler, you haven't fought in a while. Looks in good shape, but you were training to fight Conor McGregor. This is Charles Oliveira. This is not Conor McGregor. So all the people saying, "Oh, he's been off for a long time." He's been training to fight the biggest fight of his career. Yeah, against Conor McGregor, not against Charles Oliveira. Unless he was training submission defenses, I don't think it matters. I know he got chinned in the first fight, so we didn't really get to see Oliveira show off too much jiu-jitsu, even though he did get that back take. I think it was in the first round when Chandler just like jumped on his fucking back like a idiot. Yeah, I'm going with Charles Oliveira by submission. I just see fucking Chandler trying to wrestle him. Like, this is going to be the one time Chandler tries to wrestle is going to be against Oliveira and just get, like, fucking guillotined in the first round. Yeah, Charles Oliveira by some goofy-ass way. Like, Chandler's going to lose the fight himself, I think. If Chandler wins, good for him. I think this fight is going to be big for both guys. I could see if Chandler wins, the world might blow up. But he will be calling out, what the fuck is his name? Conor McGregor. Duh. And I really want to see Charles Oliveira win and call out Conor McGregor. I think he's improved in his English, and I think that's where he's going to beat Michael Chandler. No, but obviously, yep, Charles Oliveira. I'm going with first round sub. I'm not even going to go with a knockout. I think he's going to beat Chandler by knockout one time, and then this time by sub. And I think he's going to call out Conor McGregor, and Conor McGregor is going to call him a bum and call him broke and just go off on Twitter, and I don't think that fight's ever going to happen because I don't think Conor McGregor wants to fight him. He would much rather fight Michael Chandler. Way easier fight than Conor McGregor. Even if Chandler wins, Chandler's still an easier fight than fucking Charles Oliveira. Sorry for the fucking ranting, but yep. Charles Oliveira, first round submission. Good fight. I'm excited. Really want to see this one. One of the few fights on this card that I'm actually pretty excited to see. And I think this has big implications going forward. One of the few fights, because we know the main event means absolutely nothing going forward, but we're going to get to that in 1 minute. Or like 5 seconds. Okay, bye. All right, we got Stipe Miocic versus Jon Jones. I'm going with Stipe Miocic. Ha ha ha, get it? Because I'm big and stupid. I'm a dummy. Ha ha, I pick Stipe because Stipe gonna chin Jones. Guys, come on. What the fuck? Jon Jones is going to win. Yeah, his new way of winning, I think, is going to be via the gloves, guys. The gloves. That's why I stalled on, procrastinating making this video. Old gloves for UFC 309. Jon Jones is going to use those to get an eye poke and then TKO Stipe Miocic. I don't think Stipe is going to really have an issue with the gas tank, maybe, but I don't think it's going to get into those deep of rounds. I just think I don't think we're going to see a wrestle heavy approach from Jon Jones. I think if he is going to wrestle him, it's just going to be to kind of tire Stipe out or just to keep him guessing a little bit. I think he's going to be able to chin him. I know Jon Jones doesn't really have the most power ever, especially in the heavyweight division, but his new physique looks like someone who wants to be quick and someone who wants to land some nice shots and doesn't want to just lay on top of him like he kind of did to Cyril Gane, who he did not want to strike with whatsoever. Understandable. But yeah, I just see Jon Jones like eye poking Stipe. He's going to eye poke. If he doesn't eye poke this fight, I'm actually going to be upset. He's going to eye poke Stipe. Let me explain how this fight's going to go. Second round, Jon Jones just laid on Stipe for a whole round. The whole crowd is booing. Jon Jones, they go to touch gloves, step back. Jon Jones rushes in, eye pokes Stipe, catches him with a big right hand, puts Stipe down, just starts landing crazy hammer fists. Everyone goes crazy in the place. They call it off. Herb Dean gets in there. I don't know if Herb Dean's reffing, but Herb Dean calls it off. Jon Jones is raising his hands. He's running around the ring. Then they show the replay of the finish, and everyone sees the eye poke and starts booing. Everybody starts, boo, Jon Jones, you cheated. Jon Jones gets on the mic and starts crying. He said, no, I'm not going to retire, guys. I want to fight you, Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall jumps from the ceiling into the octagon. Then the lights shut off and I wake up. Yeah, Jon Jones, I think he'll actually TKO him. Weird prediction, but I just think he's going to be quicker than old man Stipe, who hasn't fought in a while. Whatever. I think he's going to retire too. I'm really hoping the whole fucking whole Aspinall thing he's been doing is just like bait and he's actually going to fight Tom Aspinall, but I don't see that happening at all. I think he might be he might be very genuine with everything he's been saying. So, I'm going to check it. I'm going to watch it and watch him retire. I kind of thought last time he moved up to heavyweight he would retire, to be honest, but I guess this time he really is going to retire. If I thought he was going to retire years ago, what makes me think he's going to stick around now to fight Tom Aspinall? I don't. I'd like to think so, but I don't. Jon Jones, second round TKO via cheating. No, but actually, I think he will knock out Stipe. It'll be cool. He'll sail off into the sunset with $100 million or whatever he says. Whatever, that's this card. Like and subscribe if you made it this far. Like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I spent hours of my life for this fucking card. I really didn't. But yeah, like and subscribe. That's it. I'm out. Bye.